bursting blues with a laugh in my eye. Shades of wonder got me on a high. We spin stories in purple and gold. Girls got colors nobody can hold. We mix it up and make it new. Splash it in gold, that's how we do. Running on fun, we won't slow down. Paint the town, turn it upside down. Push out my favorite traffic jam. Color like a fool, yeah, you know who I am. Dreams on the canvas, magic in my head. Painting out loud, I don't care where I live. Like a fool, splashing wild, breaking the rules. Like a fool, like a fool, like a fool. Every line, every you. Welcome to the dream team, the push out.
It's a plank. There's only room for one.
You're gonna Titanic me.
I was thinking I get the choice of whether or not to help you or not. Oh no!
I did not kill you!
Yo, sweet open me, push me! Now we do this until like one of us like dies. Oh my god, you pushed me again.
Okay.
This is we were here.
You gotta ask for help, Savvy. There it goes. Maybe. No!
Oh my god! Fantastic!
Hey! I did not kill you! It didn't even say help friend, and I was like, no, like, it didn't even give me that option. I don't think you asked for help.
Be fair, Sammy took a sip of Diet Coke instead of holding on for dear life. Oh no, but he killed me. I asked for help and he
Were you
killed
drinking
me.
Diet Coke? And there was much rejoicing. Hooray. No!
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I see many of you have already started in the poll that's there in the chat. Did you drink your Diet Dr. Coke yet? I have not. I have yet to drink my Diet Dr. Coke, but I'll get that after the show. If you know, you know. Follow me on Kick. It's in the description box down below for more gaming adventures with Sevi. So that was fantastic, sarcastic, and Sevi. I was playing Carry the Glass with Sevi last night, and I just want to shout out somebody very specific. This guy right here. I want everybody to point a finger and shame Larry right here because of Larry's intense and appreciated generosity. Okay. I'm gonna have to clip that part. Well, the thing is, I can't really clip it. Okay, story time. Really quickly, here's the story. So if you don't know, Carry the Glass is a 2 to 4 person game where your cutie little individuals have a corner or a piece of glass, right? Like a window or a door, a piece of glass, and you have to go through obstacle courses to get from here to there, and there are checkpoints, and it's kind of tough. It's a silly willy game, and it's really, really tough, but it's fun. Sevi and I were doing so good. We were at a particular obstacle course or particular obstacle that we were struggling through, and we're like, we got this. And I did. I felt it. I felt it in my soul that we got this. We got this one because we had not got this for a while. The momentum was great. We were nearly to the end. And suddenly on my opposite screen over here, I get a notification from Steam. And my game, which is on Steam, froze. Like my character wasn't moving. And there was like I forget what was coming at us. It was like a pendulum or a mallet or something was coming at us. Like we needed to move. And yet Sevi's yelling at me, move. And I'm like, I can't. So Larry generously gifted me a game, which I'm super excited to play once I finish Poppy's playtime, whenever that will be. And it froze my game. The notification froze my game and caused my character to be unable to move. Ergo, our glass was shattered by the obstacle and we had to start all over. Darn it, Larry, if your generosity didn't get us killed. Thank you for the good times, though. Thank you for the fun. He says over on Kick, well, I learned my lesson. I sent this morning's gift before your show. It doesn't affect YouTube and StreamYard. That was so funny, though. And then he yelled at me because he was like, Tabitha, wait. Don't, because we restarted and we were getting ready to go. He's like, don't play yet. And apparently he gifted me another game. So, Larry. Oh, that was funny. Like I said, I would try to make like a little clip of it, but the problem is that it didn't screen, like I don't have an image of the notification. I mean, I guess I could always make one up. I'll see what I just never have time in a day. Do you understand? There's never enough time in a day. Speaking of which, let's get through it. My people, my dreamers, DL hitting us with everything and the kitchen sink available for all the members. Rogie 777 Spider, good morning. I Canalist, I see you there. Grape over on the Kick side. Can't wait to hear everybody's hot takes. I brought it with me today. I've been this hot take has been literally sitting on the shelf. Well, on the floor. It should be on the shelf, but I keep wanting to use it for my hot take for weeks now. So we're getting to it today. We already announced Larry's in the chat. Cavantino over on the Kick side as well. I did drink my Diet Coke and decaf. I'll get to the whole Diet Dr. Coke here in a minute, but be sure to vote in the poll. Nagrinal says, like a fool. That's right. Love like a fool. Available in all sizes. Logical Spark. Hi there. Good morning. And to everyone. Yeah, there we go. Point and shame. That's right. Thank you, Fantastic, for standing with me. Point and shame at Larry for his generosity. Hot take: certain celebrities should stop altering their looks drastically and grow old. This is, yes. Hot take: there's too many grays in the chat. Risk it for 10 gifted membership. Oh, that's so awesome. We know what Risk It wants. Stomp, stomp, roar, roar. Let's dance like dinosaurs. Stomp, stomp, roar. Thank you, Risk It, for allowing more people to become more of the subscribers to become more dreamers. Appreciate all of you. Thank you, Risk It. I hope you're doing well. Risk It, I haven't asked you in a long time. What's the update? How's the shoulder? How's the arm? I want to know. I need to know. I want to know. Can you show me? Anyway, thank you so much. Appreciate it. There we go. That's right. Dinosaurs and dancing. That's what we do. Diet Dr. Coke. It's not a mix. It's sort of, kind of. Hey, saw no Diet Coke. I drank zero sugar Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Wow, that's a lot of descriptors there, or nouns and descriptors. So last night, because you guys know that, like, from that video, that Sevi drinks Diet Coke, and I haven't had a soda in forever, and I forget exactly what I was saying, but I said something about getting your Diet Dr. Coke, and then her chat was like, what's a Diet Dr. Coke? So I've just made up this lore now, how in the future, like 2037, Dr. Pepper and Coke are going to combine forces, and they're going to be healthier. Somebody said something about kelp, and we're like, okay, a Diet Coke drink, doctor drink, they put the doctor in front of it to make it sound healthy, and it'll taste like kelp. That will be our Diet Dr. Coke in the future. And somebody said it will be available at Burger Bell. Yeah. So, hot take. Oh, here it comes. As bad as dying like a fool is, it's worse than doing anything like a Zool. Are you a god? When someone asks if you're a god, you say yes. Let me switch this over to the Brush Hour banner. By the way, like I said yesterday, I will be updating the menu because we now have our dollar amount for. I finally figured it out. I figured out what this stream here needed to offset all the deliciousness of the other menu items. So that I did it. I did the thing. Risk It with the update says the shoulder surgery has healed, but there's other functions that need work around the scapula. Well, I hope it's going well. I'm sure it's a tedious and kind of annoying, probably. I mean, the fact that like my story of my finger, which is almost back down to its proper size and function, having just even this tiny appendage be dysfunctional, really disrupted my day-to-day life. So I can't imagine when it's like a full-on arm, part of the back, and everything like that. Diet soda leads to death. See intro. Exactly. All right. So let's see. 67% of people said that no, they did not drink their Diet Dr. Coke yet, but 33% said that they did. Huzzah, good people. Thank you for voting. What is this? What is this? Hang on. What is this? I need to figure out how to turn that off. What if that would have been the president? I can't let you guys know all of my stuff. What is that? What is that? That scared me. I saw that picture of Jen and me. Yeah, get to see her in a couple of weeks. Member message: Ken Street Fighter for my next wait. Ken Street Fighter for our next project, maybe? Are you talking about for commission work, or are you talking about here on YouTube? I got a little confused with the pronouns there, as many of us do these days. Risky business. Yep. Okay. All right. So let me show you what we did. I'm sorry, I did not sleep well, so my brain's a little foggy. So this is what we accomplished yesterday. I mean, I know that yesterday with the stream, it was just a sketch. And so I had some time. So I wanted to finish this off because I wanted to be able to work on the background today, which is super, super cool. I am excited. Yeah, Rizkit MegaCon. It's going to be lit, as they say. I wonder what the new kids are saying. So I did this. Now, I know that Sub-Zero, yeah, I was pretty happy with how he turned out. There's some things that I kind of would like to go back and change, but there's just not enough time. But I'm happy with it overall, and I like with the I'm playing around with textures and seeing how they add to the character. And so you'll see that there's a lot of detail. I try to add like a fabric texture, and then I did do like a more painterly vibe with the coloring of the skin and stuff like that, and even with the pants. I didn't do enough folds because that is a no cap for real. That's right. We're getting too old. And a little bit of like leather texture to the boots and stuff like that. Just wanted to see what that would translate to, because I did do that with our Kitana a little bit. As you can see, that's the same kind of texture. I think actually I think now that I look at it, it's slightly different. But then adding it to, the fans or whatever you want to call these things. I did mix it with a little bit of the traditional cell style or cell shading in the hair, but I'm pretty happy with this overall, and a lot of people said it was really good render. Igor, our friend Igor from the Rippaverse, he told me that it was a really good render, so that really encouraged my heart. And so I figured I would give it a try with Sub-Zero. And the only thing is that do I have a great donkey? I don't. I do not actually own a donkey, but thanks for asking. But I would like to know what that word is. I told you I don't have a donkey. I'm sorry. It's when I do, I will show it off to you. But I own neither a donkey nor a Democrat. So it is what it is. I'm sorry. I would love to have a donkey. I think that would be great. Yeah. So Bo Day 2045. I'm sorry. I just cannot provide you with the content that you're looking for. Have a nice day. So I learned a trick. I have not perfected it yet, but I watched a tutorial on how to make water, like flowing water, in the sky, if you were an airbender of some kind, or a waterbender, I should say. And I was trying to figure out how can I quickly do like, I really wanted to work on the icicle part of Sub-Zero, but I I don't quite know how to do that, so I tried taking the water bending tutorial that I learned and then modifying it because you'll notice that here in Procreate, if you go over to liquefy, there's this crystal. If you can see the blue things moving on the bottom, there's expand and then there's crystal. And so I thought I would try to do that. It still kind of looks a little bit like electrified water, but I don't think it's a bad start for the whole icicle process. Um, Maybe if I would do this again, I would change his hand to look more frosted. That didn't even enter my mind, honestly, until just now. But um, you know, so I overall I'm happy with it. And what was really cool too was the fact, the other thing that makes it kind of look like look, I know ice is frozen water, but this kind of looks like water frozen in space rather than ice, the ice shards that he's known for, because you'll see how it's, very curved rather than straightforward. So we're all learning. It's good. But that being the case, so you guys voted for this. You voted for Sub-Zero, and I tried to get rage. I hope that I got the rage, the anger, still something I'm working with, but I think that maybe if I took this off, let me see, where's the other one? That was what we had then. Um, and I think I got better at the pose because it's chibi and I didn't incorporate like tight muscle definition. I didn't put popping veins everywhere. That would probably have conveyed rage a lot more too, because as we discussed yesterday, when you're having such an intense emotion, something that is above and beyond anger, it affects all of your body. Everything will be hypersensitive to the tension. So maybe that would have been better had there been like maybe a vein or something like that popping. But overall, I like it. All right, let me put this back up here. Put this in the background. So that being said, because of the patrons, we are now going to be trying to draw the background arena, excuse me, where I'm going to be featuring Kitana and Sub-Zero in a face-off. So had to put this on the big TV to really see Sub-Zero. Looks so thank you. That means a lot. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Thanks for being here. Lurker work. Strike while the iron is hot. Kennedy Chibi. What? Leon S. Kennedy Chibi? I don't even know who that is because many people are playing Resident Evil. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Mando, loud noises. Thank you for validating the anger. So the patrons, they voted on the options were, if I'm not mistaken, like a sunset, and then hang on, I have to get to it. Sunset arena glow, moonlit battleground, firelit temple, or snowstorm chaos. And the majority ruled 67% said moonlit battleground. So I looked online to see what some of those are. So we're going to start with something basic and see where it goes and then add thereon, because I am not good at drawing backgrounds. I am mainly a portrait artist, whether it's caricatures or trying to be realistic. So we're going to give it a go. So basic structure here. Excuse me. Let's see, do I have the right? I don't have the right brush. Thank you all for being here, by the way. Please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. I don't remember which I voted for. Well, we're here now. Either way, either you are a part of the winning side or you're part of the losing side. Sorry. Riskin, I'm using your cup again this morning, and once again, Larry as well. My latte art did not work. Nomi told me she was going to teach me how to do latte art. So if we have time during MegaCon while she's here, she's going to teach me how to do latte art. Yes. Thank you for all the subscribblers. We keep going up and then we go down. So we're trying to figure out ways to grow. You know, it is what it is. Oh, Rogie gifted a Dreaming Tabitha membership. I forget how much those are. You know what? We're just until I figure out exactly how much that one is worth, I'll find out. How about I hit you with the sweet spot?
Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Sugar on my fingers, glaze on my chin. Cheeto deep fry. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Couple pennies in a cup, crumbs on the floor, crumbs on the dash, crumbs on my shirt. Give me sprinkles, give me jelly, give me plain. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Sugar on my fingers, glaze on my chin. Cheeto deep fry. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Dollar bill, sugar bill, $1. That's not sweet.
So they're going to try to take these. Oh, I didn't realize that it was like in the $2 category, but I just thought I'd hit you up with the new availability for the dollar. So 99-cent dollar one. It does sound like Queen Dolly, doesn't it? Yeah, that's right. You know, that's what I figured our menu needed, because if we look at it, everything, whoops, I can't get out of the way. Everything is savory. Even Maria, she's a little salty herself. So I was like, you know what we need? The sweet spot. We need the sweet spot. Thanks you for your gift. Appreciate it. All right. There we go. Once again, if you hear noises outside, like construction and stuff, they's doing something down the road, you know. You might need to make, that's a great idea, Riskit. Might need to make item emotes. Yep. I'll be on it. Thank you, Riskit. Appreciate it. That's what we need. Okay. All right. So I have got the oh man. I can't says 5. If you know what that means, then you're living the dream. Now that hits the spot. French fries and Whitney Houston. How could you not? So the $10 dinosaur is savory. Of course. I imagine if you could lick a dinosaur, it would taste very savory. We'll never know. We'll never get to know. I did scare an alligator the other day. I could always try to lick an alligator, but don't recommend. Oh yeah, we need the Maria as an emote. Yes. You know, I might need to alter the face so it's kind of like squinting. We'll see. Grilled dinosaurs, Brontosaurus burgers would sound really, really great. That's right. Top 5. You gave part of the top 5 and top 10 people in the chat. So what you're saying, there are always loud. All right. So I've got this line. This is what we've gotten so far. Don't tell Maria. Thank God she's not here yet. Okay. So I think so there's like these pillars underneath. You know what I need to do? We need to mirror everything so that it's faster and efficient. All right, here we go. So we're gonna this is again just a sketch to see what we're doing. What are we even doing? Something like this. And so that's just the side. Wait. And I mean, I know I don't have to copy it exactly, but given the fact that I'm not the greatest at backgrounds, I feel like I need to follow this. So I'm going to, and then we need like this. Round 1, fight. Okay. All right. So a lot of this will be the coloring and stuff. I do think that this needs to be lowered according to my picture. I'm going to give our characters plenty of breathing space, you know. She always says, isn't this a drawing stream? She says a lot of things. And then she says hardly nothing. You know, for a storyteller, she doesn't talk a lot. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I always love it when you go to Burger King, order a large fry, and you get an onion ring. Oh, yes. The mighty golden onion ring. Yep. 100%. But I like the chatting. Thank you. That's what I say. That's why. Oh, okay. Okay. While we're getting out hot takes, some of you have already thrown out your hot takes. Feel free to throw them out even as I speak, because I'm getting ready to bring you my hot take. All right. So this is the basics. The rest of it is like the moon and the clouds, but I have stamps for that. That will help. But I guess we could kind of just draw it. Whoops. Let me take this off real quickly. We could kind of draw that for reference. I think that I would want a big moon, big moon up in there. I did. I scared Terrence the alligator. And then the sandhill crane scared you. It wasn't on the same day, but it was terrifying. And then yesterday I went to go check on Terrence. I didn't see him, but I did see a sand crane, and I stopped in my tracks because it was right beside the walkway, the sidewalk. And it looked at me, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he looked at me. Shout out, Weird Al. But I turned my bike around, and I started going in the opposite direction, and then he started walking towards me. So I hightailed it out there. All right, so we got ourselves a nice big min. And let's see. I think it'd be cool to have, what are those things called? Brazier, whatever they're called. That would be kind of cool to have some fire in there. My references don't really have that, but apparently the arenas change with each game. So, right, I kind of like that in the center here. Let's keep it simple, folks. Let's keep it simple. Simple. Liar. Okay. That's not what I wanted. Okay. So there's like this little thing here. And it's got a, and then we got like, it's got like a little tour. It's a little too low here. Do this. And then a little higher. Bring me a higher left. All right. My hot take. We'll finesse this as we go. But my hot take. So you know that I'm trying to read at least one book, read and or listen. I should say finish. I'm trying to finish a book a month. And last month I finished, I literally put a sticky note on it saying Hot Take Tuesday. Melania! This book here featuring our beautiful First Lady. Whether you like her or not, you can't deny that she's mighty fun. I say that in a totally heterosexual fashion, but I read her book, and it's a good book, and I really liked it for the most part. Hang on, let me switch this picture here. And I really liked it for the most part. My hot take, though, is that the Trumps, now you're going to laugh at me. You're going to be like, well, duh, Tabitha. No, okay, well, hear me out. The Trumps are not relatable people. And I know that we'd be like, well, yeah, we could figure that out. None of us are billionaires. No, but here's my thing is like, I don't know. What am I doing? What are we doing? A lot of times when you read books like this, right? What is happening? Something is interfering with the surface of my. Okay, we'll work with that. So I was really on board with it when I first started reading the book. It was good. We got the origin stories of Melania and how she developed her skills. She's a highly intelligent woman. And I overall enjoyed the book. But my hot take is that they don't seem to know how to write books to relate to people. I'm not really sure what exactly the point of the book was. Well, I say I know what the point of the book is. Okay. I had this worded better. Betterly is not a word. I had this worded better in my mind when I was creating, fathoming my hot take, putting it together. And I can't exactly remember how I worded it to be a hot take, but that's the best that I can do, where it's like Melania Trump's book is not relatable. in the vastness of the book, in the majority of the book. There are some elements where it's like, oh, overcome and all this kind of stuff. There's one area in particular that was fascinating. And I don't know if some of you remember the first term when she gave her speech after, was it? It wasn't when he won. It was, I think it was after the Republican Community National, whatever it's called. I can't remember. And she gave a speech, and then there was a scandal in the papers because it pretty much was the exact same speech that Michelle Obama had given. And so they were accusing her of ripping off Michelle and that she had no original content and all this kind of stuff. And she hopefully I'm thank you, Icanalist, the Republican convention. Yeah, whenever it was that she spoke, and I can't remember, like I said, I can't remember if he had won or if it was at the Republican convention prior to. Either way, she was giving a speech and it sounded oddly similar to Michelle Obama's. I remember even thinking that myself. That was so long ago. I was a whole other person back then. But I remember thinking that too, where, I mean, it was a good speech, but it was like, this sounds familiar. And in that, she talks about how it was familiar because this was, again, her first time being first lady, having any kind of political affiliation in office, And when you have people in these positions, they have people that write they finesse their scripts. I don't know if anybody knows this, but a lot of people do, where they basically write out their general ideas and then they give it to somebody who basically safeguards it. They read through it, clean it up, but still keep the main heart of the piece, right? And essentially it's like your own personal human chat GPT. The thoughts and everything are originally yours, and then you can use those people to clean up the speech. And they also proofread it to make sure that it's safe to be read. And so that basically there's no fuel for the fire from the enemy, that they can use it, right? Essentially, that's the job of, thank you, Larry. Yes, the speech writers. So she used, I want to make sure, it's been a little while since I read the book. And I don't want to say something that's not true, but if I remember correctly, she used a woman that to write out her speech essentially for her, clean it up and everything like that. And that woman basically mirrored it and fashioned it after Michelle's speech. So in a way, it was Michelle's speech, Mrs. Obama's speech, but with Melania's twist to it. And that's why it sounded so similar. And Melania was so upset because it was a good speech. Whether or not you like Mrs. Obama or not, she, at that time, they always do that. They give great speeches, right? Unless you're Kamala Harris, dear God. But they give really good speeches, but it's all about the work that goes behind it, right? And so I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not even sure why these spikes are here, but we're going for it. We're doing it. We're doing the thing. Okay. Tell Maria we're making art. Hang on, let me double check my notifications. Okay. So she was highly embarrassed and very angry because when she confronted that woman because she then saw all the newspapers were talking about how she was ripping off Michelle's speech. And she's like, I don't understand. These were my words. What happened? And that's when she found out from that woman. She's like, well, yeah, I kind of fashioned it and everything. And she said that was when she understood that, even the people that you trust, you need to be careful with even the people that you trust because they don't always get it right. They're not always in your corner. And she said, from that point on, I learned that I needed to do it myself. So that was an interesting life lesson. Now, again, it's very fascinating the way that she grew up. She's a highly intelligent woman, very successful. Most people don't understand that she didn't need to marry Trump to be successful. She was already really successful before she married him. She was already financially stable before she married him. So that's an interesting part as well that most people don't know, because they always accuse her of marrying him for the money. And I mean, I get it, like what's wrong with another million, like there's nothing wrong with that, but so that's a miss. So it's nice to have the proper information for that. But the thing about all of the struggles that Melania faced in the book, she presents herself as a person who never let a struggle defeat her. And that's an okay mindset. But the way that it's worded throughout the entire book, every setback, every struggle seems to have been easily overcome. Like the hardships that she faced had minimal struggle. And even when it came to her pregnancy with Baron, she just focused on how wonderful and great the pregnancy was, and never really talks about the normal things that women go through when it comes to childbirth and childcare and stuff like that. Everything just comes across as easy. Now, I have heard recently from other successful people that I've been listening to and reading to, it's very fascinating. Successful people, there's a big difference between successful people and people that are like Trump successful. But there are similarities, but there's this. So I've heard this said though too, like successful people don't focus on their mistakes, and they don't even mention their mistakes. Like they very rarely mention, like these are like the super successful people, like the uber successful people, they do not focus on their mistakes. In fact, they will act as if they have never made mistakes. Which was so true with reading this book. There was nothing that you felt like you could relate to as a human, as a woman, for the most part, in Melania's struggle. And just because it was like, well, so I faced this hardship, but I've always been a confident and successful kid. I've always known who I wanted to be. I've always been the determined kind and never let anything set me back. That is literally the tone of the entire book, which is fine to have. And a lot of people do have. I mean, I myself am a pretty determined person, but I'm not going to lie to you. There are some days where it's like, I just want to give up and quit. Or there were times where I just didn't know what I was going to do. I definitely have not been confident my entire life. Like there was no realistic familiarity within her character upon reading this book. She didn't feel like a person that you could aspire to be, because from her youth, she was already a hardworking, confident little know-it-all. And that's what I'm saying. I've noticed this pattern where it's like these uber successful people. I'm really curious to read Trump's book now, where it's just like they don't focus on the hardships. They will not let you know, because I think it's like an area of weakness. And I understand it. This is just my opinion too. I have no proof of this, but just my watching, and understanding what little I do, that it's like they can't let you know. Never let them know your weaknesses. Never let people know your weaknesses. And I think that there's an element of wisdom there, but then there's, but it's also kind of, like I said, it's unrealistic and unfamiliar, and therefore it feels very fake, where it's like, even you could have the best pregnancy in the world. I've known women that had really easy, smooth deliveries, right? But there's still pain involved. There's still discomfort. Melania even talks about her body afterwards, how she was just like, well, I gave birth to a child and it was the most amazing thing. Of course, my body was going to change. It didn't bother me at all. Liar? Okay. That was kind of mean. Maybe she overall didn't, and she celebrated, but I just celebrated the fact that, this, that, and the third. And it's like, okay, you can do that, but still struggle with postpartum. You're a freaking supermodel, for crying out loud. You're not even just a little bit sad that the body that you worked so hard to maintain and what made you successful, besides your face, of course, is now gone forever. Yes, she's still attractive and thin and beautiful, but like, It didn't bother you? Like, not even a little bit? Like, there's no room for not even a little bit in any area of her life within this book. So, while it was a good read, when it was fascinating, it was also, like I said, it just, like, all of a sudden, it kinda got a little boring too because it very much and yet this is how you can tell, like her and Trump, they are of the same mind, obviously a married couple, but you know how they say married couples, they start to sound and act alike and everything the longer that you're together, and that is the vibe. Trump never talks about things that he messed up with. Never, not once. It's always, and even, it's not to say that he doesn't acknowledge that he's never done something wrong, but he will never, he will never talk about it. He'll never, they only focus on the success. And, so that's, like I said, it was all of a sudden nearing like the end of it. It just kind of got to this point where I felt like I was reading a Trump speech where it was like, I have led the way for this. I have successfully done this. What they're not telling you is that I have done this. There was nothing about, there were some days, even when her husband got shot at, she was like, I knew he'd be okay. Yes, I was devastated. I was, it wasn't even devastated. She's like, I was terrified, but I tried not to jump to conclusions because I understand that, we have the best police and the whatever in the world. And I trusted them that they would take care of it. Liar. You can't tell me. And when you saw the news that you weren't immediately like flabbergasted, horrified. No, nothing like that. And so that's what it kind of took out for me, where it's like, okay, this is ridiculous and unrelatable. You're not writing like a normal human being. You're not reacting like a normal human being. It's like you're reacting the way that you want us to see you. And that's fine. That's okay. But it was just a lot over the top. That's my hot take and my review on Melania. You should totally read it. I strongly recommend that you read it. It's good. It's just from that connection point, it's not. Highly recommend. I'm working through Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter with Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent. And he is relatable. Now, I have not lived the life that he has lived by far. I've never been shot 9 times. But he will tell you his struggles. He won't really tell, and he will even tell you some of his weaknesses. And it's really good so far. It's fascinating. But that's the difference. Now, he's ridiculously famous and successful as well. I don't know if he's quite Trump level, but that's the difference. Now, I will also, like I said, admit the fact that Melania Trump has a lot of people that are just eagerly waiting at the door for her to make a mistake. So for her to admit something, that something was difficult, they're waiting. I mean, the life that she's had to live, I don't blame her necessarily for not wanting to give people fuel. She could write about how she cured cancer and everybody would twist it into something. So I get it, but I think it's like the atmosphere of the last 10 plus years gave no wiggle room for there to be any relatability as a human being. And that's kind of sad, I think. Oh my goodness, it's A2. Hello, welcome in. Good morning, Mando. Be nice to her, okay? I'm sure there are people who surround themselves with people who tell them stories that they should and should not tell. Yeah, for sure. So Melania has the best pregnancy, and now she's one of the biggest intelligent sons in America. I don't even know if that's true. Like, she talked about Barron and how wonderful he was, and I'm sure that he is, and he seems like he's pretty smart for a guy his age, but like you can't tell me that he never had a hissy fit about something. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Yes, I'm on my second cup. I need it because Tabitha did not sleep well. She did not sleep well. So, but oh yeah, like let's curve this up. I like that. Hey, this isn't so hard. Sort of. I don't know what exactly I'm doing here. I'm freestyling, but I'm kind of here for it because it gives some like organicness to it and some rough structure. I'm okay with that. Iron Faith Phil, good morning. Kamala Harris. I write my speech in a crayon and watercolors. Yeah. I like crown. Like you have to finish with like, I like crowns. They're colorful, like the future. That's not here yet because we're in the present. And the present is like a gift for the future. You know. Mo, you missed my hot take about the first lady. What are you doing? Good morning, Mo. How are you? I hope you're doing well. This is me practicing backgrounds for our Street Fighter arena battle between Sub-Zero and Kitana. So the patrons voted for a moonlit arena. So I'm trying to just flesh out what this could potentially look like. They are also some like mountains in the background. There's some clouds. Obviously, a lot of this is going to come down to texture, the details, and the coloring. But Street Fighter, no. Mortal Kombat. Where you been? I literally just said Sub-Zero and Kitana. Pay attention, Mo. Pay attention. Are you geared up and ready for MegaCon, Mo? I'm not really sure what else this needs. I think that this is a pretty good arena for our characters. So I tell you what we must do. What we must do. We go over here. Here's our character. I'm going to, let's see. Let's take this, and this, and we're going to group it. We're going to duplicate this, and then I'm going to flatten this. And we are going to take him. Well, and we're going to push the gallery, go out. We're going to put him, insert him. Oh, it's coming. I think he probably needs to be a little smaller. It's coming together. Okay. And now this is looking cool. Before I'm like, all right, let's get her, Miss Ma'am. Okay, let's group together. Let's duplicate, delete. We're going to flatten this. And now we're going to grab her. Go back over here. Round one, fight. All right, she's about, let's see if we can make them roughly the same height, even though she's probably smaller, but for the sake of the, okay. And he was supposed to be like, I wanted him to be kind of like up in the, oh, that's going to look so good with him being up in the moon. That's so good. Yeah, something like this. We'll play around with it once we get all the coloring in the background. But like, what do you guys think so far? Like, that's really cool. So ready to, I know. Are the characters going to be throwing donuts at each other? Why would they be doing that? No, that would make no sense. But this looks, I'm like excited about this now. Like, let's scoot her. Oh, she's got a little bit of a flaw. Oh, no, they're supposed to be like it's glowing. Whoopsie doodle. A flaw? Me? No. How could it be? Looks great. Thank you. I'm excited about this. Okay. Are we going to be gaming tonight? Maybe. There is the possibility. I knew I need to get Joe Rosie to finish Split Fiction. I got to get on her case. She's too busy being highfalutin. No, she's got life going on. I totally understand. All right. Oh, hang on. I think I turned the drawing assistant off. So then I have to turn that up. Oh, Freddie, hello. Good morning. Oh, Mo needs to see the new thing. Mo, are you here? Are you ready? iCanalist has hit the sweet spot, but we got to make sure Mo's here. I mean, not that we need Mo, but since this is for Mo, we want to make sure Mo is here. Mo, are you out there? Are you ready? Are you ready? All right. Gearing.
Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Sugar on my fingers, glaze on my chin. Cheeto deep fried. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Couple pennies in the cup, crumbs on the floor, crumbs on the dash, crumbs on my shirt. Give me sprinkles, give me jelly, give me plain. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Sugar on my fingers, glaze on my chin. Cheeto deep fried. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Dollar bill, sugar bill, $1. That's not sweet spot.
Yeah. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. I love it. There we go. Dancing. How could you not? You just kind of, you feel it. You feel me? You feel it. Donuts. That was for you. That was for you, Mo. Thank you, Mike Analyst, for the $1 for the hitting the sweet spot. Life on marshmallows. Exactly. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. A dance move that works for everything. You can't get anything for $1 anymore. Digging the Dolly vibe. How could you not? We had to immortalize. Okay. Let me see. Let me turn this back on. I would like to at least get the bones of the construction here done whilst we are alive and together and happy and well. What are your guys' opinions thus far on what we've created? I do kind of like these really off-putting pillars that don't really make sense. TBH, not gonna lie, because it just gives it some. It's to me, it kind of looks like they're, excuse me, almost like concrete trees, if that makes any sense. So they would make sense that they're a little bit wonky doodle. But I am going to try to make sure that they have a little bit more of the angularness to them. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Tell me you're not going to be humming that tune as you walk away. That song is all about diabetes. Diabetes on my mind. I got $1. I got $1. I got $1. Hey, I don't know this song. I'm probably not. Used to get the best Boston cream donut in New York for $1 from a truck 2 blocks from the campus. Thing was pretty. That's crazy. Like it is redonkulous how expensive things are. I was telling that to somebody else the other day. My another hot take would be, and I don't know why today it's revolving around the Trumps, but it is what it is the fact that I am disappointed that the cost of living, like groceries and gas and stuff like that, is still expensive in most of the country from what I've experienced. I still think it's ridiculous that food is so expensive. It's ridiculous. And so I am disappointed that that's not something that's something that's not happened this year, this past year. Maybe it'll come in the following year. I do know there are steps that you have to take in order for these things to be accomplished, but I missed that back when in his first term, when gas and everything like that was cheaper. But at the same time, making sure that our country is freer and safer, I think definitely outweighs the cost of food. And I understand, like I said, that there are steps to be made. We have to make sure that we're free. We have to make sure that we're safe. And then we can start making these deals to make living life easier. Like we have to protect our core values and our core freedoms, our foundation, before we can get the luxuries, which I know food isn't exactly a luxury. It's a necessity, but a lot of the stuff that we eat is a luxury. So, anyway. But I will be one of those people that I will admit that I'm disappointed that was not something that took place. But maybe it will. I have high hopes. We were spoiled. We were so spoiled in that first term for sure. I never thought in my lifetime that I would see gasoline under $2. I did. I thought those days were over for America. And I remember getting gas. I want to say it was 172 or 178. And I remember going to my brother and I'm like, I never thought that I would ever see a day when I could say it was $1 or something. Cause that just sounded like something our parents and our grandparents always talked about. Rich people have no idea how us lonely people live or struggle because they've probably never had to. I mean, I think there's also that element where, like I was saying before, Trump does not know to a degree how to relate to the common man, because he has been surrounded by successful people, from what I understand, most of his life. That is not to say he doesn't know what struggle looks like, but the struggles are different. I want to say the work is the same, but the struggle is different, if that makes any sense. But what we all loved and appreciated was that he identified the struggle of the common man and was working to fix it and is working avidly to fix it. And that's what I appreciate from him. A person, he's not a politician, but he's a person that tried to understand who the regular people are. Like acknowledging the fact that most of America does not live like him and will never live like him. That was the mission. True, but I have an almost teenager and those yep, I hear you. Just feed him butter, Mo. Just give them sticks of butter. Some states, blue states, hit their citizens with extra taxes and refuse to lower costs so they can blame Trump, like California, for example. Where I'm at, gas and food dropped drastically. I was expecting that to happen here in Florida. And I'm not saying that it hasn't dropped, but I haven't been seeing them dollar signs on the gas pumps yet. Just saying. Yeah, they have different struggles. Their struggles are a lot of times loneliness because people can't relate to them because most people are not rich. They work really hard. Most of them work really, really hard to maintain that lifestyle, and it can rob them of certain joys for sure. Biases are based off of life experiences. You only really understand what you have experienced and thoroughly investigated. Exactly. This is true. Like I said, Trump will never be able to, unless he comes down to our level, he will never understand. He will never really understand. He can understand from a financial aspect because the man's brilliant with numbers. He can understand from, an intellectual aspect. Like the reality is this costs this much. Like if he knows how much the average person makes a year and then calculates the cost of the average grocery shopping haul, gas, mortgage, and whatever, and education, he can translate the numbers and realize, wow, okay, they're spending a lot of money on this stuff. How can we make their lives easier? Because he understands that's not livable or comfortable, but he can't maybe understand the emotional connection of what that's like, being evicted from your home, not being able to provide for your family, that kind of stuff. That stuff might elude him. And so what it seems like too is that like from what I've been told as well, the first term he surrounded himself with people that he thought were on his side and carried the goal post and all this kind of stuff. But it seems like he realized really quickly, and that's the same thing like Melania was saying in her book, is like this term you better watch out because we recognize the errors that we did make in trusting certain people who we thought were on our side and on the side of the American people, and now we are changing that. We're not messing around this time, as you can clearly tell with her portrait as well. All right, let's maybe put some. Let's see, is that still going? Let's try some. All right, how to make this? All right. That's not equal, but well, I don't know. What would Dolly do? I don't know. I'm not a good designer, Exactly. Trump learned really quickly that even the good ones are still politicians at heart. It's also difficult to know who you can truly call a friend at the level of success due to people only wanting to be around you due to your status. Exactly. That's why they say that's where that saying comes. It's lonely at the top. It's lonely at the top. Oh, thank you. Yes, she's a good artist as well. Yes. I stepped away to deal with some business. Did you catch my hot take? Uh-oh. Did I miss it, Mo? You talked about... not Mo, excuse me, Rizkit. I was reading Mo's name. Rizkit. You might have to rewrite it, Rizkit. Wait, ranch is a condiment. Is that a hot take? Isn't that true? Are there people out there who believe that ranch is not a condiment? I mean, I agree with Rizkit. 2024 Trump is so much worse for them. They should have just let him with 100% Mando. Welcome in. 100%. Because he's got nothing to lose. So you watch. And I know people are complaining. I myself, I just had myself a little rant there. And it's not really a rant. Like I understand there are bigger things at play that we can't see. And this guy is honestly, he's a deal-making genius. He's American at heart and in his very core. I think I want to be like, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't finna. It's technically classified as a salad dressing. True, but I mean, isn't like what wait, hang on 1 second. Let's look up. Okay. By definition, here we go. Well, a condiment is a food such as a sauce, spice, or relish added to other foods to enhance or complement their flavor, often after cooking. Common examples include ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, soy sauce, and salt, but they can also be dry powders, pastes, or pickled items like relish and chutney. They add sweetness, pungency, or other flavors to a dish and can be used at the table or incorporated during cooking. So, yeah, salad dressing is a condiment. I want to know what the definition of condiment. I need my 1828 dictionary. Where is it? According to this one from Oxford Languages, it's a noun, condiment, a substance such as and or for example, salt or ketchup that is used to add flavor to food. Condiment. So yeah, ranch is a condiment. Salad dressing is a condiment. So mystery solved. And then yes, ranch is property you own. See, that's the great thing about the English language. It can also mean that not only is it something you put on your salad, it's a wide open plain of land where you raise your cattle for eating. Also, we're voting in Texas. Let's freaking go. Yes. Get out and vote. JM the Elite Fan, good morning. We have an untamed Mando and an unchained Mando. Highlander rules, only one Mando who is und. Let them fight. Okay. Let's see, what is it? I think part of the problem with the prices of things involved the Keystone Pipeline project that was canceled by Biden. It had a far-reaching consequences, and a lot of people lost their jobs. Many investors were banking on that project. Everything has a reaction, a chain reaction. It doesn't matter which president it is. It doesn't matter whether you like them or you don't. Trump inherited whatever Biden left over. Biden inherited whatever Trump left over. Obama inherited whatever George Bush left over. Like it doesn't matter whether you like them, you love them, you hate them. It doesn't matter if they did a good job or they did a bad job. It is true that whatever a person did prior to has a chain reaction down the road. And whatever your goals are for the country, if they don't align with what your plans are, because of the legalities, it will take a lot of time, effort for it to pan out, Well, you say potato, I say potato. That's true. It's true. I agree. Ranch is a condiment. By definition and by reasoning. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure out maybe some like little embellishment thingies. This is again why it's like this is part of the practice, me figuring out. I mean, I don't think it needs a lot. And again, I think a lot of it is going to come down to like color. It would be kind of cool. Like pillars have those. Man, we had to draw this in college a whole bunch of times. I'll clean that up. But like they kind of had stuff like this. I think that looks pretty cool. I don't know why there we go. Let's try that again. Let's start in the middle. There we go. Only one dollar here in sweet spot. Oh, see, I'm singing it. Dun, 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 dun. I wish I could play stuff like that for when I do my gaming. I get like the gifted thingies or whatever. It would be more fun, I think. But it's a whole other breed. I don't know. Is that too many? It's not very traditional. I think we'll play around with it later. Let's see. But I think. Okay. Oh, whoops. What is happening? Let's see what this looks like. All right, but I think that we have the general base down for our arena. I just, like I said, it's going to come down to like the coloring. Oh, I need to check the time. I'm supposed to be on the pro show today too. So quick announcement. Let me go ahead. Yeah, they're already gearing up stuff. Like an hour out. I'm going to post a link if you want to catch me outside. How about that? I will be on the pro show around 12:30 today. I have many a hot take over there. Grogu would argue about what? What did I miss? We cannot be tamed. Someone called Cara Dune? That's right. Okay, so there's like a whole conversation. I have no idea what's going on. 2 uncontrollable Mandos. Oh, okay. Yeah, see? Personal. I hate that. Brush hour. I know they like the brush hour stuff over on the pro show. All right. You know, I think that that's all I need for see my idea. So I know it looks a little weird. I know that it kind of looks like the pillars are in front of it rather than holding it up. Maybe depending on the way that I color it. My idea was that it would be like, maybe I have to, you know, my idea was that it was like coming out and grabbing it. So kind of like this. So, you know, my arm is back here and then my hand is jutting out and then it's holding the platform. Like that was what my idea was. So I'm going to have to play around with that with coloring because otherwise it doesn't really make sense and I'd have to put the pillars underneath. I do think that I need to make the pillars wider because there's a lot of blank stuff here unless we just want to. I tell you what. Yeah, it's turned off. Tell you what we could do. Nah. It is the favorite morning traffic jam, and I appreciate all of you. Whoops. We could just, there's like, this thing has kind of like a rounded, and it has like, excuse me there. I'm not a designer. And then we could have baby spikes, do 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 do, baby spikes do 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 do, baby spikes do 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 do, baby spikes. Something like that. And then I could make it to where it kind of looks like matches the design. Whoops. I need to get the little box that would help. And maybe do kind of like something that matches. I don't know. We're practicing something here. Why is my pen not working? Is it my glove? I wonder if my glove's wearing out. Seems like it's not properly responding. It's having a hard time. Yeah, okay. So it needs a little work. It doesn't exactly match the other thing, but I think that filled in the gap a little nicer. And I think it just needs a few harsher angles. And it also doesn't have like the pillars. Oh, but I could add them. Not the pillars. I don't know what they're called. The reliefs. They're not really reliefs. These little outcroppings here. I could move those over more. I think if I made them skinnier. So let's see. Thank you, Riskit. Appreciate you. Thanks for being an excellent moderator. Okay. Yeah, something's going on. It's probably the glove. But this, again, just a sketch. We can finesse things later on. This is just to give us an idea. Is this what we're going for? I think that helps. There's a connection now. I might change this to something, again, more similar to... Oops. Yeah, if you have your Dreamers merch and you come to MegaCon, that'd be super cool. Remember, if you bought a Like a Fool shirt with Dead Nomi on it, she will be there and she will sign it for you. She will sign it for you. Maybe she might... Nomi's kind of forgetful, so you might want to bring your own pen. Just throwing that out there. So bring your own pen, your own marker, whatever. Okay, I don't like that. We'll figure that out. I do have to get Roll Tide because of, like I said, the WD Pro show. I have to refresh myself. I didn't do my hair, so you might notice that we're not quite as together as we should be because I decided to wash my hair last minute, and then I was like, I need to blow dry it. Of course, I can't be here as a sopping mess. And I need to go curl my hair. So I'm sorry that I couldn't give you the best of Tabitha, but at least she's a clean girl. You know, she's clean. You look beautiful. Thank you. I mean, I have great hair. It's just kind of here, you know, it's just kind of flat. Thank you, though, Mando. I appreciate that. Roll Tide, exactly. You're bringing your Tabitha merch to get it all signed. You love to hear it. You have many moments, Riskit. We appreciate you. What if we bring our own Narmi clone? If you do that, can you get her to publicly apologize for making me late for my own streams? That would be great. Please bring the Nomi clone. Nomi clone. That sounds like a title or a company or something like that. I like it. Nomi clone. It's a little bit difficult to say anyway. Any last words? Any last announcements? Anybody in the chat? Are you streamers? Would you like to give yourself an opportunity for a shout out? Let us know what you're doing. Feel free to post a link. I'm okay with it as long as it's not, you know, nasty or anything like that. Exactly. Loud noises. Mando, any of you, do you got anything upcoming where people can find you? Please feel free to post it down below. But this is what we have so far. I don't think it's bad. I'm excited to give this coloring a try and continuing on the journey of like textures and whatnot. I think it's going to be great. I think it'll be great. Let's see. What happened to my... Well, so much for being prepared. Tabitha, what are you doing? Well, that's what happens when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and don't fall back asleep until like 5:30. So, yes, thank you, Riskif. Subscribe to my gaming account over on YouTube. I'm 2 away from 180 and then a lot away from 500. I'm ever inching closer to the monetization. What's it called? Words are hard. Anyway, I'm really close, but I don't have the subscribers that I need. So you can't stream on your own channel right now. Streaming computer can't handle OBS anymore. Sadness and despair. I got your text also, Mando. I will be responding to you soon. But like I said, I gotta get myself ready for the pro show. I appreciate you all as always. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel, hitting the like. I love when you guys participate in the polls and all of that good stuff. Be looking. There's going to be some new ones coming. Not this week, I believe. Next week is going to be our next poll for subscribers, dreamers, and patrons of the arts. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Hot Take Tuesday. Hopefully it wasn't too scolding. And thank you for all your gifted memberships and super chats. They always mean the world to me. I'm always shocked when I see them because it's like, I never thought that would be me. I try to live grateful. I try to live grateful every day because it doesn't have to be that way. And I sit here and I have a beautiful cup that I love drinking out of from a subscriber. And I have, I actually put up the shelf that Larry got me at one point. It looks like, I wish I could show you, but it looks like dripping paint. And I finally put my Snorlax and my seal that my aunt made me over there. It's just a nice little something. And then, of course, the people that hired me for commission work. I'm actively working on your projects, and they're going to be delivered here soon. And I appreciate the support. I never thought I'd be here, but it's always been kind of my dream. My dream, to be honest, has always been, and I've said this before, ever since I was a little girl, to be able to, well, when I was a little girl, was to be a teacher. And I've already accomplished that. Cha-ching, check mark. But my heart's desire was always to be somebody who could write and illustrate her own books. And so we're working on that with Canadian Bear. And it's not going as quickly as I wanted to, and that's my own personal fault. Where are we? Where's Canadian Bear? But, oh, wrong one. We're making progress, though. My niece, she gave me some insight into what I was doing wrong and what I could do better as a 5-year-old will do. She said this looked really good, but that I needed to color the rest of these. And I tried to, of course, I tried to help her understand that it's not really about colors right now. I'm just trying to make sure I know how to draw the characters. But she let me know that they're missing colors. And then she also highly recommended that Hootley, thanks, shout out Mo, she recommended that he be purple. So I've taken that into consideration because this is meant to be for children. So I pile that up on here where it's like, okay, so she recommended, like, she wants to see colors. At the same time, children, they're flim-flammy, right? They go with the wind. But I did try to color it purple, Hootley, but then I was trying gray, and because I started seeing like all of my characters are really warm colors. So let me actually, while we're here, okay. Tabitha's secret after school class. Well, no, since everybody's leaving. Hang on. Let's go here and let's try something, shall we? My wonderful niece. What if we put this in the purple family here? Scooch it over a little bit. Okay, tell me that doesn't look better. I wonder if this color needs to be in the purple family too. That's too much. Too much. I don't want it to be a fantasy character. What about that? Do you think it needs to be a little, let's put it in the purple family, but oh shoot, what's happening? Oh man, I think it's my glove. Maybe my glove's wearing out. Do they do that? I don't know. Let's make it a little bit brighter. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure I Canela said she meant grape purple as well because she doesn't really understand that there's a variety. But in my mind, I'm like, well, how could we quote unquote adultify the color purple? And I'm like, I see it. I in the words of my niece, I love him. Yeah. I think she does. You're right, Cavantino. I think that she deserves credit. This is now it's making me question the tie. You know, this is exactly. I love it. So the green. Let's I don't know. I don't think it should be purple because that would be too much, right? Oh, well, hang on a second. I mean, the purple looks really cute, but it's a little too. Oh, shoot fire. Hang on. All right, that's the purple. That's with the green. Should we? A yellow tie? A blue tie? See, because like I said, all of my other characters are warm colored. Canadian Bear is red and he's Caucasian. So it's, pinkish, yellowish, pinkish flesh tone. And then I'm making the fox, which I haven't figured out a name yet. You guys gave me a bunch of really cool names on Instagram, and I haven't really solidified. Mo is in charge of Hootley. Thanks, shout out Mo. But the fox is a reddish brownish, orangey color. And then I have a squirrel, and wait, is that it? Right? Oh, and then there's a duck that's a yellowish orange color. So they're all in the warm family. So Hootley could be the one that stands out. So maybe a blue tie? I was trying to stick with like forest colors, right? But hang on. Let's take this. I don't think it stands out quite enough. Purple and gold. Oh, what if we made the tie the yellow? That's a little too bland, right? We could make. Oh, hey, hold on there, gunslinger. Oh. Oh. Tab says after school special. I feel like this could be the moneymaker. There's still time because right now I'm in the sketching phase. I'm trying to make sure I understand how all my characters look before I really start. I kind of went backwards with the character or with the book design thing. I started making pages because I knew I have the story finished. And then I was like, I'm just going to kind of draw as I go. But then I was like, I don't know how to draw my character in the different ways. So yes. So if you look at the top here, you'll see my duck, the owl, and the fox. And Hootley stands out on his own, but he's still complimentary because he's not oversaturated, I think. Okay. Shout out Tabitha's niece. Shout out. I think she was onto something there. Wow. You could use different tie colors to establish different days of the story. Well, I'm trying to keep it simple, right? Because I can be just as creative as you are, Rizkit, with those ideas. I'm trying to keep it simple. Like Canadian Bear has been going through some different like color ideas as well. And so I am trying to draw my squirrely squirrel over here. She has not, I think that's her name is Squirrely. I just call her Squirrely Squirrel. I haven't been able to figure out her quite yet. I've drawn her in one position, so I'm working on that. Once I get the squirrel taken care of, because I've only done her in 2 different ways. Once I get the squirrel taken care of, it's like game on. The story, all these will probably kind of be redone. Again, because I did it on quarters, but we're aiming to get this done by November. So Canadian Bear, like I said, he's been going through some coloring process. What do you guys think of the coloring? For this, I tried 2 different kind of things going on here just to see what that looks like. Why not name the squirrel Nutty? I figured it was a little too on the nose, and I really like saying squirrely squirrel. And squirrely kind of reminded me of Shirley. And it's a girl, so I just was like squirrely squirrel. That's what she is. She's a squirrely squirrel. The hair is too neat. What do you mean? Oh, well, I want the hair to be neat. There's a couple of moments like where I have him sleeping, the hair is all kind of crazy. I don't want to keep, again, I'm trying to keep it simple. There is, it's not meant to be too wild and too crazy. I've been doing a lot of color study lately. Oh, the hair, you're just joking. Risk, get out of here with that nonsense. I've been doing some coloring study lately and just trying and practicing different ways to highlight things. But I'm like, Jay's hair is often messy. Is it? He wears a hat a lot. You can't really see his hair. But what you ever really do see is like that one curl. So yes, this is based off of his character. And whoops, trying to clean that off. So it's got to be like easy identifiable things. That's kind of like the haircut for like Milo in Atlantis is the same haircut. Must have been just that era. The same haircut for the prince in Thumbelina and others, and even in Treasure Planet, like these easy identifiable things. And so we're figuring it out as we go along. But we already figured out Hootley. As you can see, I'm not good with the backgrounds. Like this one's okay. It's very basic, very plain. And I know that kids like stuff like that, but at the same time, it still has to be interesting. So we're learning as we go. We're learning backwards, unfortunately, but that will help us for the future. You guys don't understand. I finally, like, you can see barely just up in here. I have a whole bookshelf. I finally brought them all back out of a bunch of notebooks of the books that I wanted to write. I've got about eight different notebooks for 8 different stories that I've been actively working on for like 12 years. Not all of them have been 12 years, but they're like, some of them have been. One of them is my heart and soul. And I refuse to release that one to the masses until I've perfected the method. Because that one's, which will never happen, but that one's my baby. And, but right now I want to work on illustrations, like illustrative stories. And so I've got some really cool ones that I really want to release to you when we bring back the book. That's one that I want. I have a strong story for that. There's a lot of pieces that I haven't connected yet. So we're in the process. We're working on it, but we're starting with our little Canadian bear. And so, for sure, Mando. Well, the other thing is too, Mando, I've learned this also from several different people, whether it's online or in person. Number one, there's never going to be a perfect time to do something. And sometimes we procrastinate doing what we already know because we think we need more information or we're too nervous to start. There's this life coach that I follow here on YouTube called she's Tracy Hensel, and she published a short the other day that I already knew, but it was in like another boost where she's like, stop trying to learn stuff, stop gaining information, and put the information that you have to use. And it's kind of a biblical truth as well. Like I've heard it say where God's not going to give you more light and more wisdom if you're not going to walk in the stuff and the wisdom that he's already given to you. Why would he, quote unquote, because you're never a waste of God's time, but humanly, like in human terminology, why would he waste his time enlightening you more if you refuse to walk in the light that he has already granted to you? So it's the same way with creativity and productivity. Why do I keep making myself learn more things and not implement them? There's also the study that says that if the more stuff that you learn but don't put into practice, the less you retain. Because it's true, you're like overflowing your mind with information that you cannot keep a hold of until you put into practice, right? So I'm learning that myself. I think, we all as creatives, we got to push each other. We all have amazing ideas that can come to light. We all have wonderful skills that we can use, and we're too nervous because we don't think that we're good enough or that we have all the knowledge. I'll be honest with that. I don't think I have all the knowledge that I need to publish this little baby book here or this little children's book. But if I wait around until I'm ready, I'll never be ready because I'll always be scared. And a book that I highly recommend is Do It Afraid by Joyce Meyer. And she's like, you'll figure it out along the way. She's like, you're going to make mistakes. Accept that that's a normal part of life and that you learn and you grow from them. And so, work on what you need to work on. Learn what you need to learn, and then sometimes you'll never learn it until you do it. It's kind of like you could study swimming. Like there was that episode in Big Bang Theory where it's like he studied how to swim and like how to drive a car, Sheldon, but he never actually did it. So he had all the head knowledge. And he's like, I'll be fine if I ever have to because I have all the head knowledge. But when it comes to the practicality and the application, he missed the mark on every aspect because he didn't know how to practice what he had learned. So it's the same thing for our creative corner of the universe here on the YouTube side. We all have gifts. And one of my favorite quotes of all time is God doesn't give people talents he doesn't intend for them to use, by Iron Eagle. So you're never going to be great at it until you do it. You're never going to be a great soccer player unless you play soccer. You're never going to be a great writer unless you write. You're never going to be a great illustrator unless you illustrate. And the only way to be great at something is to figure out where you're not good at something and then hone those skills. And I think that we're all old enough now to understand and comprehend that failure is only failure when you quit. Missing the mark is not failure. Failure is missing the mark and then never picking up the pen again, never picking up the pen brush again, never typing out your story again. And the other thing is, I'm old too, Mando. We getting old over here. No, but we have the wisdom to know how to learn. That's the other thing too. Maria and I talk about this all the time where it's like we feel like we're just so far behind all of the creative people that are on social media right now because they all started with formal education or they all started when they were in high school. And I'm like, I didn't really start until like 7 years ago. I felt so far behind everybody. Man, my first day of college when I started years ago and I took a drawing class, all those people had been drawing since high school. And I just kind of winged it. I didn't have any formal education. I just tried to copy what I saw in the world and I got better with time, but it was humbling. And you say you're bad at writing dialogue and it scares you. Well, are you talking to people that know how to write dialogue? Are you could reach out to people. I know that's scary because rejection is a huge fear of mine, but you'll only fail and you'll get to the end of your life thinking, I should have. The late, great Alan Rickman said, you never want to get to the end of your life and look at your tombstone and have it read, what if? I wrote that down. That means a lot. And you're not old. You're not old though, Mando. But, talk to people and then we'll talk, Mando. I'll share some, if you really want to know, I'll share some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. Highly recommend Eric July, whether you like his comic books or you don't, it doesn't matter. The wisdom that he has for creatives in the social sphere of technology and in the use of AI and stuff like that. Highly recommend his videos on helping you understand how to combat things, how to work within the system. And he gives you some encouragement and some hope when you feel like you're just too far behind, you feel like you can't catch up, or you feel like the system is rigged against you. Highly recommend. He'll give you a virtual slap in the face of reality, but it's good. And it's a motivation boost. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to someone else today. Exactly. I can't change the fact that there's some 17-year-old on Instagram who has hundreds of thousands of followers because their artwork is so amazing. I also had to tell Maria, I was like, the fact is, when we were growing up, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have tutorials. We didn't have Pinterest. All of this stuff. We didn't have digital sketch pads that we could just take with us everywhere and draw any time of day. We're part of the last great generation that learned everything manually and tangibly, and we're self-taught. And that's in its own right a badge of honor. The fact that I can do the stuff that I can do because I'm self-taught, I think is pretty impressive. But it's all about the application. And sometimes you have to change. You have to, as Yoda would say, you have to unlearn what you have learned. I've had to unlearn a lot of things. And I've had to humble myself and admit that I was doing things the hard way, that there are easier ways to do. And sometimes you have to get out of your, most of the time, you have to get out of your comfort zone if you want to see progress. It's just how it is. Like when it came to drawing people and I had to take a step back and learn about shapes and anatomy and realizing that there's math and stuff like that involved, I was discouraged. I'm like, well, I have a method that works for me, but I wasn't happy with my artwork. But I didn't want to get uncomfortable to have to relearn something because I felt like it was setting me back, only to find out that not learning and resetting my brain and my talents was holding me back and will push me forward faster than if I continue in the method that I'm not happy with. So that's just what it is. I had an art pad anywhere I went when I was a kid. You had a digital art pad? How old are you, the Patrick McCartney? I didn't have anything like an iPad when I was like 12. Like iPads didn't come out until what? I was like, what, 20, 18, 21? Something like that. I remember they came out, like even with the iPhone, the touchscreen, the first touchscreen, and I'm like, it reminded me of the TV show Andromeda. I'm like, what are we doing? We are that much closer to tablet paper, you know? Tam, did you ever find out what gigabyte iPad you have? Hang on. Let's I didn't. Where would I go to find that? I'm gonna stop the screen. There we go. Where would I go? iPad Pro. Is this the one that I need to find? Let's see. The model is the iPad Pro version iPad OS 26.3. I don't know where I go to find that information. Personal information? It shouldn't be personal information. Why would I need personal information to know in general about? Model name, iPad Pro, 12.9 inch, 6th generation. Okay, it's the 512 gigabyte one that I have, apparently. And I have 4,000 photos saved. I need to clean this thing out. We gotta clean this thing out. Anyway. Oh yeah, no, it's fine. Like a lot of us had paper and pencil and stuff like that, but there's, the thing with the sketch pad with the iPad is that it's a lot easier. There's still a learning curve, but it is a lot easier than paper and pencil. And so kids get a leg up because they get to study each other. Again, they had the YouTube tutorials. We didn't figure out about YouTube tutorials till we were like in our late 20s. It's just ridiculous nonsense. Yeah. So anyway, rants and raves with Tabitha. I appreciate all of you. That long being said, there's nobody to host you to. Yeah, it is a lot easier because you have all your different pencils, all your different pens, you have all your different papers, and you have all your different colors on one compact iPad, tablet. You can't do that when you draw. So anyway, I appreciate all of you. You know what? Because you all have been so wonderful today, how about we just hit you with the sweet spot for the outro? Catch you all later on the Pro Show.
Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Sugar on my fingers, glaze on my chin. Cheap